Welcome back to this World of Warcraft Let's Play. You're Sambo, and joining us, not as always, is my other Seraphis. That's right, it's my tank slash DPS dual spec Deathknight Seraphis. Say g'day, Seraphis.
We stand united.
That's right, we do stand united here in Stormwind. You know what, folks? I thought, hey, if we have a look at the calendar, you can see we're in the middle of the Midsummer Fire Festival. And I thought, what better time to just have a bit of a look at that and show you what you can do in terms of the dailies. Because I am keeping up with these dailies on my main here, Seraphis. And I thought, hey, it's a bit of a change up, seeing as the festival is on. And it's actually one of my favourite festivals. We should check it out, and I can show you the dailies just in case you've ever wondered what you need to do. Now, by the way, aside from all of the quests that you can get, there are a bunch of achievements that you can get here in the Midsummer Festival, and you can see even I have got to get a couple more in the Cataclysm section down the bottom here, but I've got all of the ones that counted for my main event, i.e. the one where we need to, here it is, the Long Strange Trip, where we get the Violet Proto-Drake. Now, I'm not sure completely which ones have to be in there these days. Back in the day, you only used to have to get a certain number of them, and of course they've added the Cataclysm expansion, and I'm honestly not sure that if you're going for that title now, whether or not you need these ones here. You didn't when I did it though. But aside from all of the usual things like extinguishing the flames and for honouring the fire wardens and all that sort of thing, the flame wardens, juggling torches and the clothing ones, there's a whole bunch of stuff. There are a bunch of dailies that you can do to get a bunch of the currency that you need. Now, what you need at the moment for a Midsummer Fire Festival are these burning blossoms, and these are really important. You can do a couple of things with them. You can use them, and you can see there if you right click them near a festival bonfire, then you will actually receive a buff, and that's quite a cool little buff, but we don't want to do it. We want to use them as their other use, which is as currency at the Midsummer suppliers and merchants, and we'll go straight down there and I'll show you what I mean. So if you're in Stormwind, you can hop down here over to where the chef is, where the daily cooking comes from. There we go, and you can see it's all set up here for the Fire Festival, the Midsummer Fire Festival, and there's a bunch of daily quests. So that's what we're going to do. Now, the reason we're doing these is very, very important. It's for the currency. It's for these, for the burning blossoms, and we want to get as many as we possibly can. Why? Because when we chat to her, the Midsummer supplier, you can see that you can get a bunch of really cool stuff. Now, over the years, I've already got these, and there's one more that's been added this year, which is why I'm doing these dailies, to get these burning blossoms to be able to buy this one thing. But in the past, I've got things like the helm of the Fire Festival. There it is. You can see we've got the mantle of the Fire Festival. We've got shoes and sandals, all sorts of different stuff. And by the way, a lot of these have uses as well. So, for example, you can dance with flames, etc., etc. But what we're trying to do is get one in particular, which is this one here, the helm of the Fire Festival, because you can see here the actual use of it is you kneel down and allow others to cook over you. So you become a cooking fire, and I think that's totally awesome. So what I'm trying to do is save up the 350. It's one of the most expensive ones here, as well as the captured flame. By the way, that's a pet, so I got that first. You probably want to go for that the first year you do this, and by the way, you will never be able to do all of this in 1 year. So it's quite an achievement to get everything here. You can never get more than 300. Well, you definitely can't get 700 burning blossoms in 1 year. So the first year I got the captured flame, and that is a pet, and we'll summon that in just a minute. I've also got the brazier of dancing flames. I got that in another year, and I'll show you what that looks like, because I do have it in my bag. And if we just hop out here to the middle, here we go. What you can do is you can drop this down. There we go, and it summons this dancing flame. But the cool thing is, if you target it, and you can see it's targeted up the top here, and then click /dance, watch this. That's right, you turn into a flaming, dancing Draenei. I mean, that to me is pretty damn cool. And you can see we've got a buff up there. You have been seduced by the dancing flames. So yeah, and anybody in the world can actually click on that. So if there's a whole bunch of folk, they can all stand around here, and they can all click on the dancing flame brazier there, and you all end up dancing like this in a circle. It's very, very cool. But yes, the other thing that you can get, of course, is that flame. If I right click to remove that buff, there we go. By the way, that that brazier will stay there, but it is permanent. You can see there it's just on a cooldown and it will stay in my bags, which is great. But if we go to my companions here and let's have a look, see if we can find the captured flame. And as we get to the end here, there it is, the Spirit of Summer. So if I summon that, you can see it's basically like a summery version of a wisp, and it's red. And there it is. Let's see if we can get it up against the sky, sort of. Yep, there it is. So we can target it. It's basically a, it's sort of a wisp, but it's very cool and very unique. And like I say, you really have to make that choice at the vendor when you're doing the Midsummer Festival as to what you are going to spend these burning blossoms on. And once again, one year I did the Dancing Flame, the other year I did this. This year I'm trying to get up the 350 so I can get that cooking head, which is just bizarre. I love the idea of it. I want to be able to bend down and have people cook on my head. So one of the first things you're going to want to do is what's called torch tossing. And before we grab this, I just want to explain it to you. Basically, you've got these braziers here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what will happen when we start this quest is that a symbol will appear over them. And what we have to do is throw some, well, they're like torches, I guess, at the right flame. Now, to do that, you're on a timer, and you have to get 10 of them or 20 of them. I can't remember exactly how many. But what will happen is once we accept this quest, they will drop here into our bags, the torches. What I recommend you do very quickly, because you are on a timer, is to drag that over to your number 1 hotkey slot. And when you do that, it means that you can click or press number 1 and then have your hands free to actually be able to select the right brazier to target it at on the ground. So we'll do that right now. Let's have a chat.
Hey there.
There we go. More torch tossing. And this is, so we're going to get 5 burning blossoms as a reward as well as 16 gold. But watch this. Again, you have to be quick because the timer starts ticking down as soon as you accept the quest. So I'm basically going to pick them up out of my bag here, drag them down to the bottom on number 1, and then start spamming 1. Here we go. So you can see, there they are. There it is. It's there. It's on 1. I'm going to get rid of everything. And now I'm just going to click 1. And I get the ground there. You can see it's like a ground target. And now I just have to click on the brazier with the target marker, like the hunter's mark, over its head. Now if you look up in the top, there we go, you can see there's a counter there. Brazier's hit, and currently it says 4. And I need to get that up to 20, I think. And by the way, there is a countdown timer, and we'll start to see that coming up very shortly. In fact, there it is. It's now at 56 seconds. Now, if you are slow, you'll see you get out of sync like I just did then, and you'll probably miss it. So I'm not going to point around on the screen anymore. I'm just going to try and get this. Now, once again, I'm clicking 1 with my left hand and just using my right hand to click on the ground where the marker is. When I hit 1, I get that green ground effect target. So I'm up to 15, 16 now. And it's a lot harder for me too, by the way, because I get lag here in Australia. 18, 19, and it looks like we're going to get it with 20 seconds to spare. There we go. We hit 20 braziers. It is that simple. And you can see we're going to get ourselves the 5 burning blossoms and the 16 gold. And I got myself some guild reputation as well, which never goes astray. So you can see I'm up to 229 of these. Again, I need to get myself 350 before the Midsummer Fire Festival runs out, and that's going to run out on Tuesday the 3rd of July. So I think I'll get there. So it's definitely doable. Like I say though, don't bother trying to get more than 1 major purchase because you won't be able to. Now this next one is very, very difficult, by the way, especially if you don't live in the States, and it's called more torch tossing. And basically what you have to do, let's grab this. Now same deal, this one's not on a timer though. I get these unlit torches here, and it says light them near a capital bonfire, which is that thing right there, and then basically fling the torch. So I'm going to drag that down to my number 1 on my hotbar there. And there's a trick with this one. I'm going to show you what happens. If I use my number 1, watch this. Okay, I fling a torch up in the sky, there it is, and you can see it's actually going forwards. Now, it also erupts in flames if we let it hit the ground. Now, I'm going to show you what happens if we let it hit the ground near us. So I'm going to try and sort of get near it, but not right under it. Let's see, around about here. There, that's what happens. We get the flame of failure. And what that does is not only knock us down, so we fail the quest, but it also damages us, unfortunately. So what you've got to do is you've got to toss the torch like this, and you've got to get exactly under it, which as you can see is very hard. Now if you can do that, it will automatically throw it off in a different direction, and it is very difficult to see which direction it goes to, and it's very hard to get there very quickly. So here's the trick. If you've got any movement speed increasing buffs, and I've got Unholy Presence, which increases my movement speed by 15%, turn it on. Now, it's not essential, but it does help. That's step number 1. Step number 2 is you want to zoom your camera all the way out and point straight down on top of you like this. Alright, so, and of course we're using our right mouse button, to turn and move, and you can see there I get a view directly on top of me. Now, why do I want to do that? There's a very specific reason. Watch what happens when I toss the torch. Now, we're not going to be bothering looking at the torch. What we're going to do is actually look at its shadow on the ground, and that, my friends, is the trick. And we've got to try and land ourselves directly under that shadow. And that's how you know where you need to be. So again, ignore the torch and watch the shadow. So if I hit 1 here, watch the ground, and there you go. You can see the little circle. Hopefully you can see that on the YouTube video. I'm just following the black dot on the ground, and that allows me to see which direction it's being tossed in when it hits me the second time. There we go. You can see I'm just simply turning towards the direction of the shadow, ignoring the torch completely, and just chasing that black dot on the ground. That is the trick. And in fact, you can see I wasn't quite quick enough there and we got hit. So that's how you do it. And again, I'm mouse turning. I'm holding down the right mouse button and wiggling the mouse, and I'm just holding W forwards and just spinning around so I can follow that black dot. Let's try it again. So there we go, the black dot is on the ground. Ignore the torch, totally ignore it. And you just want to be a little bit in front of the black dot, by the way. You don't want to be right underneath it. Just a bit in front, and that's to compensate for lag, especially if you're like me and you're over here in Australia. And you can see there, lag got to us there because we were well in front of it, but it still registered as not hitting us. So it still thought we were miles away. So I'm up against lag. If you're playing from the States, you're not going to have this problem at all, and you're going to do this very easily. But again, try and get in front of it, folks. Always in front. Even further than you think. Just keep running past it. Oh, and I've completely lost it. Yeah, there we go. I didn't actually see which way the shadow went that time. So yeah, you want to be like literally run through it almost, because the game seems to lag behind, and if you are directly under it, quite often it won't actually count. And in fact, in that case there, gosh, we were miles away. And again, that is just lag. That's what we have to deal with over here in Australia, because my ping, you can see here, is currently 268 milliseconds. Alright, oh, and yep, now it's changed. By the way, if the network conditions change halfway through you doing this, you're going to die as well. Well, you're going to fail it. So it is very difficult for us here, and it's quite satisfying once you actually complete it, because it's normally about 10 goes for me to get this, because it's not necessarily a lack of my skill, it's just I'm up against the network connection gods. There you go. That's not bad. We're up to 4. See if we can get 5, at least 5. And you can see this one is very fast. Yeah, that one I could tell lag was in the way there, and it was just going ahead of me way too fast. Nothing you can do about that. You just got to die and start again. Now, if we don't get it this time, folks, I think you get the idea by now. What I'll do is I'll stop the recording, and I won't go through the frustration of showing you guys me missing it 10 million times. We'll get it, and then we'll come back. Although, not doing too bad this time. Maybe. Can we do it? What are we up to? 6? No, we only got up to 6. Never mind. Alright, so we'll be right back when I've completed it. And there we go, we just did it. Took me a few times, catch 10 torches in a row. That is the trick to doing this, and again, good luck to you if you're doing it anywhere other than the US, because it can be very, very difficult. Alright, going to go back to my tank spec there we are, and let's have a chat to the Master Fire Eater and hand this one in, and that is going to net us another 5 Burning Blossoms. So there we go. Now, these are all counting as daily quests, by the way. So if we go into our quest log, you can see here, daily quests 2 out of 25. So if you've already got a roster for yourself of 25 quests, these are going to eat into that, by the way, just letting you know. Right, there's another one over here. Oh, she's got a Tyrael's Charger, by the way. We've got one of them as well somewhere. Where is it? Here we go. I love Tyrael's Charger. Let's have a chat to the Earthen Ring Elder here, see what his daily quest is. And you can see there's a couple here. First one is called Striking Back, and this one's very good because it gives us 10 burning blossoms, and we definitely don't want to give those up. And basically I won't bother reading it through, but we have to go to the Dark Portal in Hellfire Peninsula and slay a Glacial Templar. Now it's not as bad as it sounds. There's not a lot of travel because there's a couple of tricks to get us there, and I'll show you them in just 1 second. But before we do anything else, we need to go through and have a look at our shout outs. Of course, we never want to forget those. Let's get up and have a great big look at the glorious vista of Stormwind City there. Isn't it amazing? I love the fact that we can fly now. It is just great. Anyhow, our shout outs, we've got one here. The first one is from the All One 111, and they say, hey, can I please get a shout out for my level 71 gnome mage called Flotala? You certainly can, and thank you very much for your support. Got another one here from Colton Cook, and they say, hey Sambo, can I please get a shout out for my video? It's all because of you that I think I'm going to start a series just like you. If you can, it's Scooby's Bad Afro, and it's going to have a vote for what type of tune I should make. You don't have to, but it would be awesome if you could. Please, please, please. Sorry about my spelling. I'm only 8 years old. You know what? There you go, Colton Cook. There is a shout out for you. And thank you very much for your support, by the way. Got another wow shout out here for George Simmons, and they say, hey Sambo, can I please have a shout out in one of your future episodes? That would be much appreciated. Also, I know what you mean when you talk about crumpler bags. Oh yes, they're one of my favorite. I saw a crumpler shop today, and I was wondering, what kind of music are you into, apart from, of course, the awesome wow tunes? Thank you. Best vids ever, from George Simmons. Well, yes, number one, I do love crumpler. I've got heaps of crumpler bags. They're the best bags in the whole world, if you ask me. In terms of music, I pretty much like everything. I mean, I'll listen to classical, I'll listen to drum and bass, I'll listen to hip hop, I'll listen to death metal, I'll listen to rock and roll, you name it. I love my electronics, I love my house and trance a lot. Pretty much one of the only things I don't listen to a lot would be either country music or opera. They're, I guess, I mean, I don't mind them, but I listen to them in moderation. So there you go, George Simmons. I hope that answers your question. Got another one here from Hella583, and they say, can I please have a shout out in your next World of Warcraft Let's Play series? My character name is Endless Nerd in the Misha server. There you go. Thank you very much for your support. Got another one here from Nightwing273, and they say, hey man, can you please give my level 26 Tauren warrior a shout out? I certainly can. His name is, how do you say that, Loharak? I think it is Loharak, and the server he's on is Deatherrock. P.S. Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. Thank you very much, and you know what? I love Tauren warriors. I just love Tauren, period. So congratulations to you, mate, and thank you very much for your support. One more here from Realize de Bomb. I think that's how you say your name, Realize de Bomb. And they say, can I please have a shout out for my level 85 Troll Hunter Stobon on Vash? Hey, there's a couple of things there. Vash is one of my favorite raid bosses, by the way. I love Lady Vash. She's awesome. And I've got a figurine of her right here on my desk. In fact, I love her so much. Secondly, I love trolls. I absolutely adore trolls. And I love their new starting zone as well. So there's a big shout out for who is it? Stobon, who is your level 85 Troll Hunter. And he also goes on to ask, what is the add-on you use for your auction house? That, sir, is called Auctioneer, and you can go look it up on curse.com. So there you go, folks. That's the shout-outs for this episode. Reminding you, as always, if you would like a shout-out, all you need to do is ask. It is that easy. Alright, meantime, I need to show you guys how to do this Glacial Templar. So once you've picked it up there, all you need to do is hop on over here to the Mage Quarter and go into the Mage Tower, because there's a handy dandy little thing in here. There it is, and it's called the Portal to the Blasted Land. So what we do is we take that, and that won't take us through to Hellfire Peninsula, but it will take us through to the Dark Portal, very nearby, as you know. So it's basically the other side of the Dark Portal. Once we get there, all we need to do is mount up. Here we go. And take ourselves into the Dark Portal, and of course that will take us through to Hellfire Peninsula, and the quest objective that we have is just on the other side of the portal. It's that simple. It's really, really, really simple. Alright, so hopefully that'll load in just a second. There we go. And all you need to do is, and by the way, how awesome does this Dark Portal look? We love it over here in Hellfire Peninsula. All you need to do is go straight up over the pit commanders here and down to the right, and you'll see this crystal here. Now all you need to do, you don't have to worry about these mobs if you're level 85 like me, because you can see they are level 64 and they're not really going to put up much of a fight. In fact, most of them are pretty much one hit and they're gone. I mean, what you could do is farm them here for like rune cloth if you need it. You can see most of them drop it, or a little bit of extra cash. Not that it's much. There we go, but I would just ignore them pretty much. Oh, now by the way, we had number 1 here set to unlit torches. We don't need that anymore, so I'm going to put that back to my normal number 1 ability. Just don't forget to do that, because you might go to hit somebody and nothing happens, because we've changed it up.
Not ready yet.
Alright, so all you need to do once you're here is right click on the ice stone, and that'll bring up this. It says the stone radiates a bitter cold, chilling the air around it and the platform on which it sits. Deep within its facets, a blue light pulses, waiting. And all we need to do is lay our hand on the stone. Here we are, and it summons this guy here. You will not stop the Frost Lord from entering this world, mortal. The Tide Hunter's might will crush that of Ragnaros once and for all, leaving your land a frozen paradise. And you can see there, I just auto-attacked him to death. And there it is, Glacial Templar slain 1 out of 1. Now you might think, look, it's very simple to get to the Dark Portal, and of course we can go through the other side and get back, but then we have to find our way back to Stormwind. That's a pain in the jacksie. No, all you need to do is use the portal that's here. So there's a portal in the Mage Tower to get you to the other side of the Dark Portal, and then once you're here, you just fly over here to the Alliance side of things, and once we hop down the bottom, look at that, there is a portal to Stormwind right there. It's that easy. So you can see the whole thing, if you're not talking like me, will take you about 30 seconds. It's not that hard. Now, I know a lot of folk that don't bother doing this because they think, oh, I have to travel all the way to the Outlands and then all the way back. No, you don't. You can just basically portal all around the place. Now, this will take us into the middle of the Mage Tower again as well, if you've never been here before, and that can be a little bit confusing at first. There we go, and you can see there's 2 ends to the Mage Tower. You just go straight ahead, and basically we're at the top of the tower we just saw before, and we go out that magic portal, down the spiral stairs, and look, there is the portal to the Blasted Lands again. So we've just done a complete circle. It's that easy. Now all we need to do is mount up, and then go hand in, and that's it. And you're going to get yourself 10 burning blossoms. So for the minute it's probably going to take you all up, you get yourself all of those blossoms. It is well worth it.
Light.
Striking back, there we go, 10 burning blossoms, and it's done. So we've got ourselves a whole bunch of them out of that, and you can see if I have a look in my bags, I am now up to 244, so I basically need just 106 more just before the end of the Fire Festival in order to get my cooking helmet. Now there is one other thing that you can do, and that is, you can get to it a couple of ways. One, you can have a chat to this guy, and you can see here it says queue for the Frost Lord Ahun battle. Or, if you don't want to do it that way, you can actually bring up your dungeon finder, and you can see it's right here. And this is effectively a one boss dungeon. And what happens is if you actually queue for it, you'll get teleported straight into the slave pens, I think it is, in the Coilfang reservoir there in Zangarmarsh. And inside there is basically a one boss. And you and a group will go in, and you get this, the Satchel of Chilled Goods. Now there is a chance to get a pet in there. You want to do that because basically you get the Satchel of Chilled Goods, which gives you a whole bunch of stuff, and like I say, a random chance of getting that pet drop. So it's pretty much the only way to get that. I think it's called a Frigid Frostling or something like that. I actually don't have it, but you want to run this daily so you have a chance multiple times over the course of the festival. And you can see here we've got 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 days that it runs, and that means there are 12 chances to do it. Now, we're out of time for this episode, so I'm not going to be able to show you that fight, but it's pretty easy, and anyone in there will have done it before if you've never done it. It's just the one boss. You have to pick up the ads, and at one point the boss becomes vulnerable and you beat him down, and that's about it. It's not very exciting, but like I say, everyone tends to do it for a chance to get that particular pet, and I really, really want it. So I'm going to go and run that right now, but that's about it for us, folks. Certainly hope you enjoyed that little diversion from the norm. Next week we'll return to the normal schedule, which of course means that we'll be back on Yogurt, our little goblin chamois. But I just thought, seeing as the Fire Festival was on, you might want to see how to do those dailies nice and easy if you're trying to collect those burning blossoms so that you can pick up your goodies from the Midsummer Fire Festival vendor. So there you go, folks. Certainly hope you enjoyed it. Certainly look forward to seeing you in the next one. In the meantime, on behalf of myself and Seraphis, our Draenei Deathknight here, it's us saying take care. Hope you guys are having a fantastic week wherever you are in the world. We do look forward to seeing you next time. We will see you then, and bye-bye.
Andiamo a corcolare.